problems, let me. When I've been magic. With the gang, we ball out, it can get tragic. All we got, we gon' let you have it. Stuck in my ways, think I need to change my habits. What would you do if you were me and didn't have it? Look in the mirror, now I'm feeling like a savage. Tell my son I love him, for him I'ma make it happen. Now my dream's reality, not going back to. You say that you proud of me, I turn my back, you.
Trouble keeping up with the Joneses? Hello, everyone.
Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Houston Texans and the Minnesota Vikings.
Got it. Scotland, 41 the mic. Get it.
The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. The Notre Dame man, Jalen Smith, able to get a hand in and knock it away.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
Back to throw. That's to Cook out of the backfield. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. On play action, they'll throw. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Brooks. 22 yards there, a first down.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. Tight end Irv Smith, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Setting up the screen for Cook. Only a yard there. Sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up 3rd.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
It was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance. I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10.
Ready.
Now a give right side. Blair And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there, because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, it looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
Yeah, allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff him for a loss. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. Now again, right side, Blair. And he'll be stopped up after only a couple of yards as he gets it down to the 5. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. And he'll give it here to his running back. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal. Back to throw here. And this is caught for a touchdown. Now hold everything here. Flag in the backfield. This one might be coming back. So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement, and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target. Incomplete. Well, so a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while. But when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, that's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get 6s instead of 3s.
Well, that will go down as a 15-play drive, and it results in 3 points. So some disappointment?
It's funny. We had our conference before the game with the offensive coordinator, and what did he tell us? I just want every drive to end in a kick, right? An extra point, a punt, or a field goal. Well, in this case, I think it is a little bit of a disappointment because it did end in a kick, but that type of a drive should end in the end zone.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 24. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Check, 47. Let's go, Heavy. Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got? What you got, Heavy? What you got, Heavy? Give me some. Give me some.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards. Now a 1st down carry by Jones. The numbers for Jones last week, 9 carries, 107 yards, and the touchdown.
Well, they set a nice tone in week 1. He's among the leading rushers in the league. I think that they continue to feed him the football and continue to establish the running game so they can get the play action and throw the ball deep later on.
From just shy of midfield, Watson, that's complete to Sharp. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 40. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10, right at the 40.
Watch the motion, watch the motion.
Jones. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. A pickup of 11 and a Texans 1st down. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. 3-0 after one on EA Sports. On second down now, it's Jones. Strong run, but still wrangled before reaching the 20. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
On 3rd and short, going with their tight end. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down at a yard.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
Now, meanwhile, they go for it on 4th down, and my goodness, incomplete. Bill O'Brien rolls the dice, but to no avail. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super tall.
And got his man complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That one good for 37 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield, incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver, and that'll bring up 2nd down. So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. 2nd and 10. And he comes back with one complete. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets them 6. And that's caught by Smith. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the 1st down as well.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends are
looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked off down at the 10. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Watson will bring up the Texans here 1st and 10 from back at their own 10-yard line. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. That's good for a Texan 1st down, a 12-yard pickup. His first carry of their 2nd drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their 1st drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurdling through them.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete. He was trying to get it to A.J. Brown that time. And that'll bring up 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. This is Jones. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. He's got a first down and then some at midfield.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense.
A little too much extracurricular there.
When you have a game with a lot of contact, tensions are going to run pretty high. You're going to be emotional, but you have to harness it somehow, and he didn't on that play.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And this will be caught inside the 10. What a grab. A good pickup there, 21 yards. The last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there's a quarterback in this league that's any good that doesn't throw an interception occasionally, and they usually bounce back in a big way. I've seen guys throw 5 and still find a way to win the game in the end.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They set the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line.
And that's the kind of stand all defenses are seeking. 3rd and goal, backs against the wall, and they get a monster sack, and now they're going to force them into a field goal. For them, that's a win.
And his kick here is good. But now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. You got a young quarterback. You know, maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one.
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. On 2nd down, it's Jones. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. To throw is Watson. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his 2nd week of the regular season. Now this throw caught left side. 16 yards on that one, and also a Texan first down. First down now, but that clock rolling.
Watch one, watch one.
On 1st and 10, Watson. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
They've been playing sound fundamental defense thus far and able to keep this offense from creating a major dent on the scoreboard.
Able to force the incompletion, but still waiting for that game-changing play. You feel like it's coming, the first sack, the first turnover.
In a sense, they're playing old-school defense right now. The new-school defense is what you said, taking the ball away. Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. If you don't pick up the first down, guess what?
You're like pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Watson going to stay out there as they'll go for it on 4th.
Check girls, check girls, check girls. He's moving, boys, moving. Both sevens and Mike, both sevens and Mike.
They're going for it. It's Watson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And Diggs has it. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. It's a gain of 34. What a first half this has been offensively. I mean, defensively, what do you do when you're getting torched like this?
No, these receivers are absolutely wearing them out. So 2 thoughts come to mind. 1, get some oxygen.
And that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. This offense certainly looking a lot more comfortable here at home. They lost last week in the opener on the road, but there's something about that home opener makes you feel more settled.
Yeah, I wish we could quantify it, too, because you're playing the same game. The field's the same, size. We know all of that. But being at home, sometimes when you do things well, you get that extra push from your home fans, and it elevates your game.
And in the driver's seat right now. And now out comes Houston. Well, look at the clock here. You're inside of a minute. First half hasn't gone that well for you. How are you going to play this drive?
Well, I've been told by my coaches previously that the intelligent approach, go ahead and run out the clock and start over. Don't make any more mistakes. But there's also something to understanding that you've got this last drive here. You get the ball to start the second half. Try and go 2 for 1 here. Get some points now and come out of the locker room and get more points again and get your momentum really built up.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now it's Watson. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it.
Get off the train tracks, baby. Get off the train tracks.
So we've reached halftime. Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the 3rd quarter. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in.
And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. Here's a 4-receiver look now. 3 of those guys out to the right side on 2nd and 8.
Nice 42, nice 42. Hey. Check, 42's the mic.
Watson now to throw. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. The former Pro Bowl linebacker Anthony Barr there to jar it free. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and is just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
On first down, it's Watson. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. Now Watson. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Throwing again is Watson. He's got his man Sharp complete. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So a good drive there to begin quarter number 3, but they're only able to shave 3 points off the lead.
Well, something's better than nothing, all right? They didn't play particularly well in the first half, but they definitely need him to step on the accelerator now and play a whole lot better.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot.
There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And here comes the Texans now. They trail here by 24 points. Got to get going soon, you'd have to think, as they come up 1st and 10. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Watson. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. The former Pro Bowl linebacker Anthony Barr there to jar it free. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
Now a throw left sideline here is complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards on that one, and also a Texan first down. Watson on first down. This will be caught by Brown.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage.
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it, and the Vikings pick up the football. And they're going to bring this one back. It's It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. And Charles, look at the big fella. What a rumble that was. Not only to scoop it, but then take it the rest of the way for the touchdown.
And now you know they're going to have to hear about it from now on. The defensive backs, he's going to want to run with them, do their drills, the whole deal. He thinks he's the pace setter now.
It doesn't matter what happens in practice this week, he's smiling. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find some.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 41.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Blair. And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35. He was a 2nd-round pick. Many scouts thought he could have gone higher than that.
And I was one of them. Even though I don't scout for any particular team, I had a 1st-round grade on him. And frankly, I'm surprised he lasted to the 2nd round. They got a steal with this player.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy, got the best players they could at the time they were drafting, and inserted them into their lineup.
12 yards there. 1st down, Vikings. This quarterback now nearing the 300-yard mark with still a quarter to play. It's 1st and 10. Boy, that is a 7-yard loss. 2nd down now.
Well, that wasn't exactly a thing of beauty. I know they completed the pass, but look at the yardage lost. I mean, who does that make happy?
That's why I don't play in PPR points per reception fantasy leagues right there.
You'd be really
You don't deserve anything for that.
But you get credit for it? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Well, I know whoever has this team's defense, they were happy about that play.
Only 2 yards on the carry. That's going to set up a 3rd and long. 3rd and 15 to be exact.
They're going to need some therapy after this. Go. 41.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And what can they do here on 2nd and goal? 3 red zone trips so far have yielded 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And it's caught. That's good for a gain of 6, 2nd and goal. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult.
And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. A great effort there. With 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Extra point safely through, and that will extend this big lead. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it's polished off by a Viking score. This is taken at his 4. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Let's go.
The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, "Wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys."
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. Now, a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. They were trying to go to Brown once again, and it's third down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. And now the third down throw incomplete as well. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Now, meanwhile, they go for it on 4th down, and my goodness, incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. Apparently, they weren't interested in playing the field position game. They opt to keep their offense out there. A big mistake in hindsight.
Yeah, that one backfired. In hindsight's always 20/20, but let's call it what it was. We would have first guessed that one and said, don't do it here. Bad situation. I think they need to be closer to midfield before I would start to think it was a good idea.
Yeah.
And once you start taking risks like that, you're going to have to keep taking them throughout the game, especially when they don't work.
Yeah, at this stage of the second half, interesting.
Let's go, tight end. Let's go right here now. Check.
They'll keep it on the ground. Blair, and he's going to have a first down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line. 2 yards and able to get the first down in the process.
You. Get it. Ready?
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Stephon Diggs with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game, as his guys continue to pour it on. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go.
The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave him great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. They are going for it. Here's Watson. This is Johnson. He's got it. Not often do 4th down conversions result in 23 yards, but that's the case here. First down. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. On first down, Watson. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they march up another 15 against your squad.
Going to throw deep for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Watson now. Going to throw again. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
I think this is what this game's become now. Just go deep, see if we can get something to go our way.
Yeah, not the most creative or most inventive play call there, but not much has worked for them throughout this game. They're almost at a loss about what to dial up.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. Here's Watson. And this is going to be incomplete. Bill O'Brien rolls the dice, but to no avail. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. So a tough pill to swallow there. A would-be touchdown pass in and out of his hands on 4th.
Sometimes it just comes down to execution, doesn't it? Because we're always questioning, should they go for it, should they not? Is it the right play call, is it not? In this situation, everything was right except for the finish. You have to catch the ball and convert.
They'll keep it on the ground. Blair. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. The Vikings send out their punter. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. Pulled in at the 24. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say, maybe makes that offense feel good, but when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
Here's Watson. Wide open receiver complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Back to throw, Watson going for it all. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Again, it's Watson. This is caught.
Let's go. Do it.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Watson looks to throw again. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Mike Gesicki, but it'll be 2nd and goal. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And I think they stopped him again. They did at the 1-yard line. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that will bring up an interesting decision here on 4th and goal.
I get the thought process. 3rd and short, give it to the fullback, let him bulldoze his way. But that means you're counting on your offensive line to win the line of scrimmage, aren't you?
Yeah, there was just a mass of bodies there at the line. Looked like more defenders than offensive guys. Winds up losing yardage. And he will not even make it back to the line of scrimmage. They're turned away on 4th and goal. And the Vikings, they come up big down near the goal line. So they finally get their first trip to the red zone, and it ends with nothing.
And that's what I'm going to focus on with you because you teed it up really well. Finally get to the red zone. So there's got to be a little bit of frustration because they haven't moved the ball as well as they wanted to all game. Now they get there, but we got to go for it because we don't know if we're going to get back here again. We don't know how many opportunities because they've been sputtering a little bit.
Absolutely. At this stage in the second half, to get there and not get it for the first time, tough. And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
And the Texans set to come onto the field. And last time, they had it 4th and goal, rolled the dice, didn't get it. Now they've got to put that behind them, try to put together another drive.
Hey, a simple tip of the cap, a nod of the head to the defense. Congratulations, you got us last time. But you didn't hold us the whole time. We got down to position where we were able to be in position to score. Let's go ahead and attack again. Continue to have that kind of confidence, not worry about the one play that didn't allow them to get into the end zone.
And this time they'll be trying to get it into the end zone. We'll see what they do. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain. To throw is Watson. And he finds his target. It's Sharp. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. Looking to throw. Watson. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. As this one moves towards its conclusion, another incomplete pass there. Thoughts on the secondary? I mean, they seem to be pretty effective in this one.
Yeah, I thought that they've been absolutely outstanding. I mean, their job is to prevent touchdowns, and not a single touchdown is going on the board against them. Of course, they want to make it a total shutout, but hey, if you don't give up touchdowns, you got a heck of a chance to win.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Watson. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
I think this one offensively, this is one where you just say, let's move on. Let's not even watch the game tapes from this one.
Yeah, you might just want to throw it in the trash, act like it was never there in the first place.
Yeah, just say we're good. I actually have heard of a coach in the past who took his team out to the practice field and ceremonially buried the game films from the prior game when they got clobbered. That was his way of putting it behind them.
They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down. Now we'll play fake, and it's Watson. He's going deep for Brown. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Watson to throw again. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Fletcher Cox, the former Mississippi State Bulldog, ringing the cowbell there on the sack.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and the pressure gets to him again. Willie Henry able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it. Now it's Watson. That's complete to Sharp. And unable to break away, they stop him a few yards shy. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and it'll be a turnover on downs. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
And now out comes Minnesota. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all three timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Check your hot read.
Now a handoff here to his running back. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
Down. 60 outlaw. Blue draw Corker. Check. Let's go.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Blair. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That one a gain of 20 and a 1st down.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Right back to him on 1st down. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. On 2nd down now, it's Blair. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
Go now. 8 read. Recon. 132 fighter.
Gonna be a long day, offense.
Hit it.
Victory formation time for the Vikings as they'll take a knee here.
Ready, ready. 70. Indy.
But Charles, it's one thing to win.